everybody, Gage here from Sharp. Excited to have you with me for another episode of Sharp Knife Shop TV. Today's episode is a new arrivals / unboxing video. We have some cool new arrivals, some restocks on some cool stuff as well that I'm excited to share with you. So without further ado, let's get into the first knife, which is the Anryu 165mm Damascus Santoku made from VG10 with, again, that beautiful Damascus pattern on it. I'm normally not a huge fan of this style of handle, but I must say the spine of the knife is very nicely sanded down. The handle itself is very nicely polished. No bumps, gaps, or spaces or anything weird on this guy. It feels fantastic in the hand. The spine going further down the length of the knife is very nicely sanded as well. Quite thin behind the edge and has a bit of a distal taper towards the tip, not a ton, but it is a little thicker out of the handle here and gets a little thinner towards the tip. Balance point on this guy is right about there. So basically right where you'd want it for a pinch grip, maybe a little further back towards the handle than I personally would like, but still feels really, really nice in the hand. The edge geometry on this guy is awesome as well. VG10 is a really solid stainless steel. Generally has a Rockwell hardness around 61, 63, which is going to give you really solid edge retention. And the edge geometry on this guy is going to give you a really, really nice cutting feel. If you're looking for a short, little, nimble Santoku that's going to be easy to maintain, this guy is going to be right up your alley. Highly recommend this guy to home cooks and also professionals, but home cooks mostly because the Santoku is like a really easy shape to work with, super versatile, really beautiful, and quite affordable. The sort of theme of this new arrivals batch was sort of to bring in some more affordable options. We have quite a bit of stuff sort of on the higher end in stock right now, so this is all sort of geared more towards home cooks or professionals looking for their first really cool knife, and this guy fits perfectly in that theme. The next knife, maybe not quite following that theme, but still a really cool knife, is the Kamo Bunka made from VG10. Not to be confused with Shiro Kamo. This guy is made by the other Kamo in the Takefu Knife Village. Integral handle on this guy, so you've got a welded integral bolster, hidden tang into the handle here. The handle itself is made from maple, and it's got this beautiful like Damascus pattern on the beveling here. It's much like the last knife that we just talked about, the Anryu Santoku, but the Bunka has this reverse tanto or K-tip on it, which I really like the look of, and I do find it adds a little bit of extra height to your guide finger close to the tip of the knife, so when you're doing more intricate tasks with that part of the knife, it's really handy. Feels really, really nice in the hand. It's quite light. Balance point is a little bit back towards the handle here, but it still feels really, really nice and nimble in the hand. Spine is nicely sanded down. Choil feels nice as well. Nothing too sharp or anything in there. Really, really cool looking knife. So excited to have these guys in. Next up, Masutani knives. We've got the 130mm Petty and 165mm Nakedi back in stock with these really cool blue placa wood handles. We have these available on their own and as a part of a combination deal right now, so check them out on the website. Masutani knives are some of our most popular knives in the shop. They strike a good balance between affordability and high performance. These guys are made from VG1 Gold, which is a really solid steel. It comes in around like 59, 60 on the Rockwell scale, so not the hardest steel you're ever going to find, but what maybe they lack in Rockwell hardness, they certainly make up for with sharpness out of the box. Masutani's sharpening is amazing, and especially at this price point, all of his knives are insanely sharp right out of the box. This Nakiri balances right about here, which is like exactly where I would want it. So just maybe a little bit forward of where you're gonna hold the knife for that pinch grip. It's got a really nice tall blade on it. Really cool Tsuchime finish with the Damascus pattern on the bevel there as well. We've got welded steel bolsters here, and that more Western style blue handle. Really, really cool looking knife here, and great for anyone who does a lot of like vegetable chopping. Nakiri are meant to be using that up and down chopping motion. cushion, so you can fly through a lot of like julienne vegetables with this guy. I bust mine out for stir fry nights all the time. So really, really cool knives there. Moving on to Tosaichi Octagrip Santokus. We have a new flavor in stock now, which is this red Packawood handle here. And then, of course, the OG guy here with the brown Packawood handle. These are also some shop favorites here amongst our customers. Really cool Nashiji finish on them. They're made from Ginsan, which is a type of stainless steel, also referred to sometimes as silver 3. It's said to be the most resemblant of all the stainless steels to carbon steel, generally in terms of its sharpenability. So Ginsan is really, really easy to sharpen, takes a really keen, sharp edge with not as much effort as most other stainless steels. These guys are great for the home cook or the professional looking for their first solid knife. They're not overly chippy or brittle. We always recommend you treat your knives really well, but these guys can certainly stand up to a lot more abuse than your average Japanese knife. They strike a really good balance between cutting feel and durability. So even though they're quite thin and they have a really nice cutting feel, again, they're not going to give you those chipping issues that some other super thin Japanese knives may. And again, affordable price on these guys. So excited to have these in. Next up, we're going to talk about a new brand that we're working with, which is Tsunehisa. Very excited to have these guys in. They are a brand that works with a bunch of different knife makers across Japan to produce knives under their own name. All of the knives that we have under their name right now are factory made, but that shouldn't deter you from them. They're fantastic knives, and sometimes if you're looking for a really consistent, well-made knife, a factory-made knife is not a bad idea. Generally, you're going to get really good consistency from factory-made knives, and you'll generally get more bang for your buck here as well. So the first lineup we're going to talk about is their Damascus line made from ZA18. We have their 135 millimeter petty knife, their 165 Santoku, their 165 Nakiri, and their 210 and 240 millimeter Gyutos, all with this beautiful Damascus pattern on them and this brown Packawood handle, triple riveted, full tang all the way through. So the steel type is said to be very similar to VG10. It's got a couple, same sort of elements with slightly more added to it. So it's said to perform at the same level or even outperform VG10. So really, really solid knives here. We have all of them available in combo deals. So you could pick up the petty and Santoku together, the petty Nakiri, petty Gyuto, so on and so forth. You understand? We also have 3 knife combos available here. So you can pick up the petty Santoku Gyuto, petty Nakiri Gyuto, or you can pick up all 5 with a sweet leather magnetic stand as well for a hefty discount. These are great for professionals, home cooks, anyone looking for great bang for your buck, easy to maintain knives that perform well and look really nice. Also, of course, they have the more Western style handle on them. So if you really like sort of the aesthetic and the performance of Japanese knives, but you prefer the sort of hand feel of a more traditional Western style knife, then these are right up your alley. Balance point is sort of in line with that as well. So the balance point's a little further back towards the handle, right about here on the Santoku. On the Nakiri, a little tiny bit further forward, right about there. And on the Gyuto, right about there. Really solid knives, super sharp out of the box, really nice edge geometry on them. I wouldn't call these like super delicate knives, but you do definitely want to be aware that they're going to be a little more delicate than your average German kitchen knife. So keep that in mind, but yeah, really solid knives here. Moving on to the Damascus petty and Gyuto 135 210. These are made from Oz 10, which is a stainless steel generally used in the production of razors for like shaving your face and stuff like that. They've got the more traditional Western handle on them. Black balance point on the petty knife is right about here, and balance point on the Gyuto, which is 210 millimeters. I don't know if I mentioned that, is right about there. Really solid knives. Again, following the theme of today's new arrivals video, bang for your buck here. So great for anyone just getting into Japanese knives and just looking to kind of dip their toes. They're of course not cheap, but they're certainly not like $300-400 knives. So you can pick up, and then again, you can also pick up these in a combo deal together as well. And the Gyuto and Petty are really all you need to get started. Get a nice knife kit going. You can do a lot with just those two knives. So I'm really excited to have these guys in as well. And last but certainly not least is the 210mm Gyuto made from AZ8. To my understanding, they also use this steel type in razors and stuff like that as well. It's not going to have quite the same edge retention as the AZ10, which is not going to have quite the same edge retention as the ZA18, but still really solid knives. Beautiful, simple, polished finish on this guy. That brown Packawood handle with Western in style. Balance point on this guy is right about there. But this is a really solid knife for the price, or even without that in consideration, just a really solid knife. Nice edge geometry on it, nicely sanded, really sharp out of the box, and easy to maintain. So great knife if you're looking for something on the more affordable end. So there you have it, guys. The new arrivals for this week, beginning of February here. So we've got lots more stuff coming in over the next few weeks. So stay tuned for more awesome new arrival and unboxing videos. Until then, stay sharp.